I want you to imagine something. What if 10 years from now, you woke up and realized your money had been working harder than you ever did? What if your investments were paying your bills, covering your lifestyle, and giving you freedom to choose how to live each day? It might sound like a dream, but it's exactly what the world's greatest finance books have been teaching for decades. After reading over 100 of these books, from classics like The Richest Man in Babylon and The Intelligent Investor, to modern bestsellers like The Psychology of Money and I Will Teach You to Be Rich, I discovered the same 10 timeless money secrets kept appearing again and again. These are the principles that separate the wealthy from those who stay stuck in the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. Let's start with the first. The very first principle is simple. Pay yourself first. Most people get paid, spend on bills, groceries, fun, and then save what's left, if anything. But the truth is, there's rarely anything left. George Clason wrote almost a century ago, "A part of all you earn is yours to keep." David Bach calls it automating your wealth. You take at least 10% of your income, and the moment you get paid, you move it straight into savings or investments before you touch anything else. That way, you guarantee your future comes first. If you earn $4,000 a month and put aside just $400, you'll adapt to living on $3,600. Over time, that $400 compounds into thousands. The trick is to remove willpower from the equation. Make it automatic so saving happens without you thinking. Pay yourself first, and your future self will thank you. The second secret is living below your means and resisting lifestyle creep. In The Millionaire Next Door, researchers found that most millionaires didn't look like millionaires at all. They weren't driving luxury cars or living in mansions. They were modest, frugal, and invested instead of showing off. Morgan Housel explains it well in The Psychology of Money. Wealth is what you don't see. The car is not bought, the watch is not purchased, the vacation skipped. Too many people get a raise and immediately inflate their lifestyle. Nicer cars, bigger houses, fancier dinners, and they stay trapped, no richer than before. The antidote is discipline. Spend less than you make, and when you get a raise, invest half instead of spending it all. Freedom comes not from impressing others, but from controlling your money. Now that you understand the foundations of saving, spending wisely, and letting compounding work for you, let's move into the next set of secrets. Ones that change the way you actually invest and think about money. The fourth secret is to favor low-cost index funds instead of trying to pick stocks. Most people think the stock market is about finding winners. Buy Tesla here, sell Netflix there, beat the system. But research shows that even professional investors rarely beat the market consistently. Burton Malkiel's A Random Walk Down Wall Street proved it decades ago. John Bogle, the founder of Vanguard, offered the solution: index funds. Instead of picking individual companies, you buy the entire market, say the S&P 500. Instantly you're diversified, your fees are tiny, and over time you outperform most professionals. Bogle famously said, "Don't look for the needle in the haystack, just buy the haystack." For the average investor, this is the closest thing to a guaranteed winning strategy. The fifth secret is understanding the difference between assets and liabilities, and always buying assets. Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad explains it in one simple rule. Assets put money in your pocket. Liabilities take money out. But most people confuse the two. They think their car is an asset, but it drains money in payments and depreciation. They think their bigger house is wealth, but it comes with huge costs. Real assets are things that generate income. Rental property, dividend-paying stocks, businesses. Liabilities are the toys and status symbols that bleed you dry. Imagine putting $50,000 into a rental property that nets $500 a month. That's an asset. Now imagine using the same money to buy a luxury car with a $600 payment. That's a liability. The wealthy focus on building their asset column. Over time, assets produce cash flow that exceeds wages, and that's when financial freedom begins. The sixth secret is that the best investment you'll ever make is in yourself. Stocks can crash, real estate can decline, but your skills and knowledge stay with you forever. Napoleon Hill called it specialized knowledge in Think and Grow Rich. Robert Kiyosaki said, "Money is one form of power, but what is more powerful is financial education." The wealthy read constantly, seek mentors, learn new skills, and expand their financial literacy. Warren Buffett has said the best investment he ever made wasn't a stock. It was a public speaking course that changed his career. When you invest in yourself, you increase your earning potential and avoid costly mistakes. That could mean reading one finance book each month, learning how to negotiate, taking a new course, or building a side skill that opens doors. Every dollar you invest in yourself has the potential to return tenfold over your lifetime. So let's recap. You've learned to pay yourself first, to live below your means, and to let compounding work its magic. Then you learn to favor index funds, buy assets, not liabilities, and continually invest in yourself. 6 secrets that, if practiced consistently, will completely shift your financial trajectory. But there's more. Because money isn't just about saving and investing. It's also about protection, mindset, and freedom. In the next section, you'll discover why avoiding bad debt is critical, why emergency funds are life-changing, and how to finally shift from working for money to making money work for you. The third secret is harnessing the power of compounding. Albert Einstein supposedly called it the 8th wonder of the world. Whether he did or not, every finance expert agrees. Compounding is financial magic. When you invest, your money earns returns. Reinvest those returns, and they begin earning returns too. Over time, it snowballs. $10,000 growing at 7% becomes nearly $40,000 in 20 years, and over $150,000 in 40 years. Warren Buffett built the majority of his fortune after the age of 65 because he gave compounding decades to work. The lesson is simple. Start early, stay invested, and be patient. You don't need to chase hot tips. You need to give your money time to grow. So far, you've learned to pay yourself first, to live below your means, and to harness compounding. These 3 alone can transform your finances. But we're just getting started. Debt. It's a word that makes people nervous. Some gurus say all debt is bad and should be avoided completely. Others argue debt can be a powerful tool if used wisely. After reading book after book, here's what I learned. Bad debt is poison. Good debt can be power. Dave Ramsey, in The Total Money Makeover, calls credit card debt, payday loans, and car financing a burden that robs your income. And he's right. High-interest debt is financial quicksand. Owe $1,000 at 20%, and in just a year, you owe $1,200. Try building wealth while dragging that anchor. It's almost impossible. But not all debt is created equal. Robert Kiyosaki and many others point out the difference between bad debt and good debt. Bad debt pays for things that lose value: cars, clothes, gadgets. Good debt is borrowing to buy things that create income. rental property, a business, or education that improves your earning power. Imagine taking out a $200,000 mortgage on a rental property. After expenses, it gives you $300 a month in positive cash flow. That's debt working for you. But take that same $200,000 and finance luxury cars. Now you're trapped. The rule is simple. If the debt doesn't pay for itself, it's bad debt. The eighth secret is building an emergency fund and financial safety nets. It's not exciting, but it's life-changing. Almost every book I read, from Total Money Makeover to I Will Teach You to Be Rich, said the same thing. Life happens. Cars break, jobs disappear, medical bills arrive. Without savings, people fall right back into debt. But with an emergency fund, 3 to 6 months of living expenses set aside, you can handle surprises without panic. Imagine two families hit with a $5,000 emergency. One has no savings, so they charge it on a credit card and drown in interest. The other has savings, pays it, and moves on. That's the difference between financial ruin and financial resilience. Safety nets also mean insurance. Health, auto, home, and life. These things aren't glamorous, but they're shields protecting you from catastrophe. An emergency fund won't make you rich, but it will stop you from becoming poor. And that's just as powerful. The ninth secret is shifting from working for money to making money work for you. Vicki Robin and Joe Dominguez, in Your Money or Your Life, describe the crossover point, the moment when your investments generate enough income to cover your expenses. That's freedom. Robert Kiyosaki says, if you work for money, you give the power to your employer. If money works for you, you keep the power. Think about it. If your expenses are $3,000 a month and your investments generate $3,000 in passive income, you're free. You can keep working if you want, but you don't have to. That's financial independence, and it doesn't require millions. It just requires enough assets to pay for your life. The wealthy don't just chase higher salaries. They build systems, stocks, real estate, businesses that generate cash flow automatically. At first, it might just be a few dollars. But reinvest, let compounding work, and over time your money becomes an employee that never sleeps. So let's recap where we are. Avoid bad debt and only use good debt that builds wealth. Protect yourself with emergency funds and insurance. And most importantly, shift your mindset so that money works for you, not the other way around. We've covered 9 secrets so far. Just one more remains, and it may be the most eye-opening of them all. The final secret might be the most misunderstood of all. After all the saving, investing, and building, what is money really for? Most people think it's about buying things, cars, houses, vacations, gadgets. But every great finance book I've read points to the same truth. Real wealth isn't about stuff. It's about freedom. Morgan Housel, in The Psychology of Money, says, the highest dividend money pays is the ability to control your time. That's the real payoff. It's not waking up to a Lamborghini. It's waking up and saying, I can spend my day however I want. Tim Ferriss, in The 4-Hour Workweek, calls it lifestyle design. You use money not just to buy things, but to buy back your life. Picture 2 people, both earning $150,000 a year. One spends it all, luxury house, fancy cars, designer clothes. The other lives modestly, invests wisely, and builds passive income. 15 years later, the spender is still chained to work, while the investor is financially free, doing whatever they want. Who's truly rich? That's the eye-opener. Money itself isn't the goal. It's the tool. The tool that buys back your time, your choices, and your freedom. When you stop chasing money for appearances and start using it to create the life you want, everything changes. So let's bring it all together. 10 timeless money secrets from 100 of the greatest finance books ever written. Pay yourself first. Live below your means. Harness the magic of compounding. Favor index funds over gambling on stocks. Buy assets, not liabilities. Invest in yourself. Avoid bad debt and use good debt wisely. Build emergency funds and safety nets. Make your money work for you. And finally, understand that money is freedom, not just stuff. Each of these principles is powerful on its own. Together, they form a roadmap to financial independence. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. You just need to consistently apply what's been proven for decades. Start small, stay disciplined, and let time do its work. Now here's my final message to you. You don't need to master Wall Street. You don't need to win the lottery. You don't need to earn millions. You just need to practice these 10 secrets with patience and persistence. Do that. And you won't just be richer in money. You'll be richer in life. If you found this helpful, give it a like and share your thoughts in the comments. Which of these secrets hit you hardest? Which will you start applying today? And most importantly, make sure you subscribe for more videos like this. Because remember, knowledge compounds just like money. The more you learn, the more you earn, and the closer you get to true freedom. Stay positive, stay disciplined, and stay prosperous. I'll see you in the next one.